Hello, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntext Live. How you guys doing? I hope you are doing good. And unfortunately, if you've been watching the news, we something big happened today, just very recently, and it was confirmed that we had somebody get blasted. Somebody who actually had a wife and kids, and that's not cool at all. So whether you like them or not, pop a top, and let's get this out of the way. Here's to you, Mr. Kirk, and good luck on your next assignment, and all the best to your descendants. All right. Hate to start off a live stream with that, guys, but it had to be said. And it is what it is. I try to stay away from politics here, but politics gets into everything. And unfortunately, some lead got into someone else. So yeah, not cool at all, but it is what it is. So, which is a needle pulling thread. What we're going to be going over, just like we do every week, we're going to be going over what the channel's been doing, what's coming up, and then we're going to go into the comment section, pausing whenever you guys send in something that is super. Speaking of which, Steve, he's usually not in here. Our medic, Steve Ingwig, he actually already sent his earlier, so don't worry, he's getting a shout out. It's written right here, Steve, if you're watching, so don't worry about it. Anyway, on to the unknown fleet. If you guys didn't get the pun that happened here with the title, the battlefield lay bare. Well, yeah, we don't really do spoilers here, guys. For those who haven't listened to it yet, yeah, it does have a double entendre. So, and I'm going to be going over some of the things over the past week. As far as the unknown fleet's gone, what you guys have brought in the comment section, not a lot I can comment on, unfortunately. But there's enough to get us started. All right. With the unknown fleet, somebody brought up the earlier in the week how I said the secret of life. Well, us infantry guys, that was the secret of life. Secret of life, more ammo, because it's hard to die when you're shooting back, and that's just yeah, that's just the way it is. And somebody thought that was going to be the whole thing with Warhammer, more DACA, more better. Sorta. Their idea is putting more guns, not more ammo. Their whole thing is if you can put 50 guns on their freaking dropship or their fighter or something and spray it all and basically bust your entire combat load in 5 seconds or less, then they're doing good because more DACA, right? Doesn't quite work that way. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to put it on here. I had a joke and I forgot to actually have the thing on here. I'm going to have to do it later afterwards. But it's something about the yippies, guys. Don't worry. All right. Something was brought up about this, about the story. Now, I didn't go super deep into biological needs, how much is automated. A lot of that, I left that up to you guys' imagination. If I was going to break it down that tight, you're talking about ambush predators level of detail, at least, at bare minimum. So I can't really do that all that much unless I want to stretch this out for another 10 episodes. And all, it may or may not be winding up or wrapping up fairly soon. It might be another week before it's done. That depends more on scheduling than anything else, guys. I can see how tomorrow goes, but I think I got to go help my dad tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. It was brought up about the infrastructure and shipyards. When you get to this level, yes, most everything is going to be automated. Absolutely. Just like I did on other stories where you can break it down and basically have a molecular assembler rebuild your ship. Is it going to cost you? Sure. But can it be done? Absolutely. You can also get the parts and build it yourself if you want. So, I didn't go into detail, but that's that should be I don't want to say hinted at, but it's something that would be natural in this type of story. Now, if you got any questions, by all means, put it in. I see something. Something just hit my peripheral vision. And it's a $5 super chat from Douglas Scarborough, who says, love the story, Sin. Hope the Yippies lose a major objective soon. I think they've lost a few already. Anyway, let me get your name down here, Douglas, so I don't forget to send out your thanks at the end. And we still have somebody who's going to be good for the next 3 weeks. He doesn't have to actually send a super chat. He's still going to get his for the next 3 weeks. I won't mention who it is, but I know what the man eats. Anyway, somebody mentioned how the soundboard is helping. And
I hope it's helping a little bit as far as the story goes. The only problem is for this voice to work, I actually still have to deadpan my voice when I speak because the drones don't actually change their tone like that.
And it is what it is. Although I could say that the robots
sound a little different.
I really didn't want to use the small robot. I got the bigger one. Anyways, yes, thank you very much. I won't mention who because he didn't want me to say who it was with the soundboard, but thank you very much for sending that in. Very much appreciated and has worked out wonderfully. I still have issues trying to get some of the functions to work, but that's on me. All right, let's see. Again, there wasn't much in the way of the unknown fleet. Most everybody chimed in for their...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right. Become someone who is so unbelievably outrageous that she comes here every single week. And I swear you're the only female in the chat at most times there, Erica. She says, thank you. I'm loving Unknown Fleet. You know who you should really thank is SS Demon, because he was the one who came up with the Unknown Fleet. I just had to tweak it a little bit. He sent me all the specs for the fleets, and if I really, really, really wanted to dig into it on that very first episode, then that thing could have been 45 minutes long, as I literally just read the different specs off of every single one. No shit, I got a pile of sheets over there, which is what he sent me. So, yeah. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. You never know what's going to be next. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, in my notes, I want to go over politics in media really quick, guys. And as you know, you got to keep your politics as far as possible. If you want politics away, do not look at my other channels, because I have one channel that is very deep into politics and social shit. You might not like me after that, because you know it's almost like a rant, and I'm almost screaming into this camera and of course this microphone. But I gotta just make the point. And you know, nowadays you gotta have two, unless your channel is massive, and this one isn't, because for some reason I'm still bleeding subscribers like crazy. You know, unless you're already got a huge following, then you gotta have multiple channels. It is what it is. Excuse me, I need a beer. If it wasn't for the instant before, I wouldn't actually have real beer, because I got the birch beer right here.
What? What the fuck?
What's going on is we have a SS Demon in the comments section, and he sent another $10 super chat, and he says, I've been doing a $5 super thanks on every fleet video you have done, but I'm 99% sure no one sees them going, I'm going to fight with YouTube about it because I want to get my support, loving the series. Now, I can tell you straight up, if you're sending 5 with every single episode, I can guarantee you I'm not seeing any of that. Guaranteed. And then here, right below.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What that is a $10 super chat from MTF Guard. He says, seasons greetings to you all. And the season is just now changing. Now we got some dead leaves on the lawn. As I know we all had a rocky day, that's to put it mildly, especially with the events that transpired a few hours ago, but at least we have Syntax that takes our mind off it. You missed the beginning, Guard, where I sent out the farewell to him, and the infantry prayer actually is good luck on your next assignment. So anyways, on that, again, I don't want to sit here and stew in politics and stuff like that, because that's not what we're here for. We're looking at escapism, and we want to make fun of a few things, try to get a couple of laughs in, because you guys can be funny. Some of the stuff you guys send in is just crazy. Kind of like Leonid here saying, writing advice channels taught me that the story needs love triangles. If you like drama, or if you like that type of drama, it's you don't really need it. It's interesting when you get a little bit of jealousy going between folks. The thing is, you can only do that with females. Guys, it's not jealousy. It's I'm going to beat your ass if you don't back off. We're men. That's just the way we are. We are protective. It's hardwired into our DNA. Anyway. All right. When it comes to politics and media, I didn't want to get too far away from this. I just got to say, certain actors need to shut the fuck up. They have already buried themselves because they're political shit. They just, you can't. Just like I wanted to watch the Spider-Man movie, but the guy who played the living bug zapper, he's one of the most racist people I've ever seen in my life. And once I found that out, I don't want to deal with his ass. Just like, what's his guy from The Naked Gun, Liam Neeson. The man hates firearms, but made his living off doing movies where he shoots people. I'm sorry, but when he told me I need to turn in everything and everyone that slings brass and or lead, yeah, he can find the deepest part of my friggin' anus and lick it. Actually, you know what? He'd probably enjoy that. So I want him to stay as far away from my downstairs mix-up as possible. Anyway, now I really didn't have a lot of notes for this week. I scanned everything, and it's literally the same stuff. Well, about 50% of what I found is the same stuff from the previous week. We don't need to go over the same stuff every single week. That would get boring, right? I don't want to get boring. I will say this. If you've seen the sales on the video games, which, by the way, I do have to say, people sent in videos, but I only got two new videos for this week. And the videos are kind of, well, they're like this. And anyway, sorry guys, I'm trying to find, there it is, something that I can actually use as a joke later. All right. I just want to say, if you've been watching the like Stellar Blade and stuff, has actually shown that it's beating the pants off everybody else. Who would have thought actually having women on your video game that look like women doing athletic stuff that look like women that do athletic stuff would actually sell? Oh, who would have possibly thought that was a thing? Oh, I never would have thought that. Oh, no. Everybody else has got these androgynous things where you, as soon as you pick the player, even before you start playing, you're like, I don't want to even look at this person more than once. Why in the hell would I want to stare at them for the next 20 hours of gameplay? Shocker. And it's crazy because I got, I don't know if you guys seen the new 007. James Bond is once again Jane Bond. And apparently it's so woke that most of these, well, let me adjust that. Most of the critics can't even get through the preview, the teaser, or anything like that. It's absolutely crazy. Now, me personally, I was never a fan of James Bond. Just because the guy was too perfect. He could do everything better than people who have trained on that one thing for their entire lives. And I'm sitting there going, no, just no. You just want to sit there and go, excuse me? You're supposed to be that good? I don't think so. It's just, it's crazy. But people seem to like it, so it is what it is. All right. And by the way, that new 007, the sales are already tanking, like bad. All right. And you guys who are video game players, by all means, put in the comment section or in the chat box so we can go over this. Tell me if this is true, because I'm not a big video game guy right now. I really wish I hadn't got rid of my games for my Xbox back in the day, because I would love to sit there and play some Battlefront 1 and 2, the originals. However, why is it I keep hearing that video games are getting very glitchy? And I know that certain ones will actually kill your console, but I'm at a loss. You guys are going to have to tell me. Because again, I'm not a huge video game player and I'm far too busy during the day to actually do it. Now, on to some brighter news. Who would have thought that things aren't totally... Who knew that we could finally get something that didn't want you to sit there and yell, "Game over, man. It's game over." I was amazed to hear the critics on this. Actually, the drunken critic guy, whoever he is, the guy who drinks way too much, he even watched this K-pop Demon Hunters, a CGI, not really girl boss movie, but apparently the three main characters are all females. They're all K-pop singers, and apparently they all have actual depth. Who would have thought people would enjoy a movie where the characters are actually fleshed out and they're not one color painted pieces of shit that just hate everybody who's not them? Who would have thought? I never would have guessed that people would actually like something where the characters are, I don't know, real, even though they're CGI. I'm like, yeah. And I saw a couple cuts of it. Okay, so the girls are like, oh, I would never like this guy. And then they saw that he's got like a freaking 8-pack and shit like that. And he's tall and skinny and fit and all that. And of course, all of a sudden they're gushing because that's what teenagers do. And then they get all like, I don't know what to do. Oh, can't comb the hair behind the ear. Shit. Yeah, it's just, they put more humanity in a fully CGI movie than I've seen in most live action movies in like a year or two. I will say Nobody Part 2 was, or the next chapter, number 2, Nobody 2 was just hilarious. Just absolutely hilarious. A bit goofy at times, but just, yeah. I shouldn't say goofy, you bad motherfuckers. I should say it had one or two small cringe moments, but not cringe as in woke. Cringe as in like, oh, that's like a bad dad joke. But anyways, why can't we just get good movies like that? Seriously. So if I want a good movie, I almost said fuck it and went to the movies to see the re-release of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that's back when movies were actually good. People actually cared about decent content. It wasn't preachy. It wasn't cringy. It was just entertainment. Please, for the love of God, can we get that back? But we probably won't get it back until 3i Atlas comes and drops a whole bunch of shit on our planet, which, by the way, that's the next thing on my list here. And hope you guys are ready for that one, because as it turns out, if what I'm hearing is correct, I hear a lot of different stuff when I have to do my research, so bear with me. 3i Atlas is not solid rock. It is condensed smaller pieces, especially around the outside, which means there is the potential for one of two things. If they have to knock it sideways, the resulting explosion and impact is going to send a lot of shrapnel out, which is going to come back towards us, and it's going to be one hell of a light show in the sky. Or it gets close enough to the planet where the gravity well might not pull 3i Atlas, but it's going to pull some of the fragments off and again land on this world somewhere. We do not want the main body of whatever in the hell that is to go kersplat on this planet, because if it does, we already know these guys who are excellence in trigonometry have found out it's going to be just off the coast of California, or just on the coast of California, right on like Paradise Island or some weird shit, and there won't be anything left. It will hit with enough force that it will literally just make a crater that will instantly be filled in with seawater. And anybody in the San Francisco area, I think it is right there, is pretty much screwed, because everything goes down. Your power, your water, your sewage, everything just basically breaks right there. And the resulting flash wave or shock wave is going to push all the buildings over, and then you're buried under rubble and nobody can get in. And with that much, the highways are going to be closed. The ports are going to be fucked. It's just bad. It's just bad. So anyways, just keep your eyes open for that. Now, if things get really bad and the 3i Atlas comes down to this planet, chances are you guys listening, unless you're within about 400 to 500 miles radius of the actual impact, you're not going to feel it. Now, they're trying to say it's going to cause a nuclear winter. Do you have any idea how much ash has to go up in the atmosphere to cause that? The worst that's going to happen is these here United States are going to get really cold for the winter, and by spring, everything's going to be rained out of the sky, literally. It's just that simple. I love when people go crazy. Oh, I saw it on a movie. Yeah, if that shit on the movie was true, we'd be working with rods from God, and they'd actually work better than a nuke, which they don't, not even close. All right. All right, before I go on to a big section I want to cover, I don't know if you guys are seeing it. I don't see it here. I'm hearing something about the hype system, okay, to hype up the videos. I don't see something to click on to hype my videos. If you guys see it, let me know. If you know what in the flying hell that's about, because every time I get a message from YouTube about this, it doesn't make much sense. So by all means, let me know. All right. The last thing I want to talk about before we get into the comment section, we're going to be going really short. For those of you who play real-time strategy games, there is an exceptionally good real-time strategy game called Supreme Commander. I didn't think it was going to be nearly as good as it actually is. That being said, excuse me, it's the standard 3 factions fighting for each other, but each faction, if you play them, has a storyline where you will get the win at the end. And that's the original. But because all 3 have similar but very different endings, they didn't expect to make a second one. But it was such a big hit, they made another one called Forged Alliance. A lot of these folks online have their favorite faction, and they want to say that faction's ending is canon. It has to be canon because I say so, not following the facts of the canon. And I just had an argument with somebody who did a video on these. He insisted that the Aeon faction, the religious faction, was the ones where there's canon. That's bullshit, and I can prove it. Okay, everybody knows that the UEF can't be, because there was 3. There was the Aeons, which was the more religious, but they are technologically advanced faction. There is the Cyberns, which are cybernetic. You know, it's humans who've augmented themselves, kind of like the Borg, but actually free will. And then you got the UEF, the ones who want control over everybody, which are very, very modern-ish. When you take the endings to all those, the UEF used something called the Black Sun system to blow up planets. When they did, even if they blew up only 2 planets, which were the homeworlds of the other 2 factions, They killed off the Aeon princess and all her court. They killed off the Cybran's brain in a jar guy, plus his second in command, a female called Dashka, who is a key, which means in Forged Alliance, the next one in line, guess who you see in the opening cinematics? You see Dashka right there. So I'm like, well, they're out for one. And then you see the princess come on later. I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely not. Doesn't work that way. Then you have the Aeon one. And their whole thing is the princess got into the same system that was meant to blow things up. And she used that to destroy her body because she's a ghost at the end. You actually see that. She's a ghost. She has no physical body. She sent her consciousness out to touch everybody on the head, to make peace and love. Let's win the war with flower power. Oh, bullshit. I need a drink. Doesn't work. Because in the next one, again, in Forged Alliance, she's alive and well. She cannot form herself a new physical body. What in the ever-loving fuckle knuckles are they talking about? Not to mention, if the Aeon won, the Cybrans would not be freed. That was the thing with the Cybrans. Their whole thing was to use that same weapon system, the Black Sun weapon system, to free their people. That's all it did. Well, that and it cooked the quantum gateway, so there was no space travel for a couple of years. Okay. That means all the factions, all the personnel, all the planets are still alive. Does that allow for a second one to come in with all the factions, all the personnel, and all the planets still intact? And of course, the Cybrans being free, which is again a major part of the next of Forged Alliance, which is the next part. The Cybrans were the only ones that it makes sense logically. However, if you are creating a story, if you're creating a series, just like I had to do with, we'll say Galactic War Games. Galactic War Games was not meant to be expanded. I expanded it because I was being asked to expand it. But because of that, I had to figure out what canonically works in each one. Okay, that was how that works. And I actually just about beat my head against the wall for about 2 weeks trying to figure out certain details that didn't mess up. So if you're going to make a story based on something you've already made, you have to make sure it matches. That's the whole part of this rant. And it amazes me how many people will use their own bias. And the guy I argued with who said the Aeon was the only one that makes sense. No, you're saying that because you wanted to stare at the CGI princess. Yeah, she's pretty for a CGI bot of, early 2000s, which I'd love to see what the CGI would make her look like now. But if you don't match the lore, if you don't keep consistency, you do not have a good story. And this is why I ask you guys, if I fuck up the consistency, please let me know so I can fix it somehow. If I can't fix it, I will just never do that story ever again. I will just end it right there. I know you guys like when series continue, but if I fuck it up too bad and I can't fix it, no, wave off. No, we're done. So, again, the reason why all that rant was to make sure you guys understand that lore is important, which is something that Trekkie Trek, Star Wars, and all of them do not understand at all. They keep putting their own personal biases in, and what do we get? The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. Ugh. And of course, Star Trek STD. My brain hurts just even thinking about how bad those were. Because the kicker is what made a lot of the shows good, especially in science fiction. I'm sure you guys have seen it's the side characters that make it. Most of the captains suck. I mean, seriously, suck. But it's not just science fiction. And this is why whenever you have a science or a side character, if you have multiple named characters, the side characters have to be just as good as your main character. And sometimes they turn out better. Case in point, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 1990s. That show, the premise of that show was unbelievably stupid. In fact, if you did bring somebody from the hood, they would have been almost completely uncontrollable. They would have been a complete piece of shit. And that family socially would have been completely discarded. Nobody would have hung out with either the daughters or the son would have been kicked out of all his extra clubs and all that. Nobody would want him around. He would make everybody ostracized, no matter how good the father was being. That being said, Will Smith did an extra good job. He got better over time. He was kind of shit in the beginning, but he got better over time. And you guys who've seen this, you know, when they hit the mark, especially when he was talking about his real dad, you know, that scene where he broke down, that is one of the most heavy hitting scenes in the entire fucking series. That being said, the guy who played his father, a sub character, I believe not only was a better actor, but it was a better character. He acted the way a father is supposed to. And that was rare at those times. They were already making all the fathers these goofy SOBs. And when you can make a sub character really good, what do you get? You get the Taylor from Deep Space Nine, who was just so fun to listen to. You get Malari and Jakar from Babylon 5. Seriously, you could have done a whole series with just those two guys. I don't even know if the actors are still alive, but they did such a good job. It's the sub characters that make your story. Or in most of my cases, it's a situation. Because again, if I'm trying, like this one with Unknown Fleet, there's only one named character. There's named species, but there's not named characters. Because of that, you got to make them interesting. You got to make them relatable, and you got to make people understand how they operate, especially upstairs. So, that being said, I'm going to put that down in case I need it again because it keeps bumping me in the stomach. And I am going to go into the comment section so that I can see here. There's Leonid with his love triangles thing with everybody super chats. And let me go up and oh, guess who's here? War Sniper's here. And yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the pun was okay. Okay, we'll start here. Just under the super chats. Okay. Guard says, sadly, I only sent one video sin, but I hope you like seeing the other bonk tank. Oh, you didn't see it? I sent one video? Sent what do you mean sent one video? Because you sent this second one. All right, for you guys that actually play those games, what he just did there is called flagging the corner. If you're actually clearing a room, you always keep your weapon either down or straight up as you're coming up to the doorway, because if they see the barrel, they're going to run out, grab the barrel, put a pistol in your chest, and blow your heart out your back. Which is why you don't. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and go through CQB and mount training with you guys too much. But just remember, if you're using the terrain to your advantage, you don't stick your nose out unless you're ready to fire. If you're in armor, You stick out, you look, you sweep, you back the hell off, because guess what? You just exposed yourself. And let's face it, we don't want to see you expose yourself. All right. Why does this thing keep jumping? Let's see. Demon said, okay, so Sin is definitely not getting the money on YouTube's taking and not sharing my comments. I'm definitely going to be, yeah, definitely. Raise holy hell for him. Because you can, I mean, they can contact me. I'll let them know. I don't see it. Raise, oh yeah, raise hell demon. Yeah, that, come on. That, where's the button? Where's the button? Because that's a dad joke. Seriously. That's a pull my finger type dad joke. Okay, Demon says, that's $50. I know they get a share of it, but Sin should get some of it. I'm tired of being blacklisted on comments and videos, especially my own flea video. Why are you blacklisted? I don't get it, because I don't blacklist people. Even people who troll my channel, I don't block them. I'm actually upset. I am physically upset at this, because I should see it every time. Because, like I said, Steve sent me one today. It came through, and it was a $5, I think. Yeah. Dude, I'm just send them through here from now on. Don't fuck with the rest of it, because that's bullshit. He's also said he's got 18 clips to send, just haven't yet. All right, on that note, if anyone's going to send me clips, which, by the way, as long as they're YouTube friendly, I'm going to use them. They don't have to just be video games. They can be anything. They can be funny shit. They can be some guy telling a joke. I don't give a shit. As long as it works for the channel, we're going to use it. Now, that being said, I looked at the video length. I'm even going to my media assets right now. The longest video I see here, because I never got rid of any, they're all on standby, is 1 minute and 21 seconds. That is the absolute limit. No, sorry, 122. The fighting game here. I might throw that up later. So anything longer than that, just no. It probably won't upload. There's a limit on StreamYards. All right. Why does this thing keep jumping? What the hell, man? Okay. Guard says, no worries. I saw the farewell. Okay. Leonid says, I watched a few new James Bond movies. It was okay. Something that was so big back in the day, you don't want to just be okay. James Bond was dead before Austin Powers hit the friggin' market. Okay, that was when Mission Impossible came out, they took over for James Bond, but I couldn't watch that shit either, because I don't know anybody who knows 308 different fucking languages and can type them all out on a standard English speaking keyboard. Now, nowadays, if they wanted different languages, you just chat GPT that shit and you find out what it says. But back then, no. Okay, Guard says, I find it funny that Hollow Knight Silk Song managed to crash, but not Steam. Not just the Nintendo stores, but Xbox, Microsoft Store, and PlayStation Sony Store for over half a day. 97% positive reviews. The game was only $20, and it was 7.6 gigabytes of space. I ain't seen a game like that since the early 2000s with Black Ops 2 when it first came out. Okay, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Okay, again, I'm not a gamer, so again, 7.7 gigs for that's a very, very small game as far as gigs go. That's quite small. But yeah, I think it might have been crashed on purpose if that's the case. If somebody else is making it, you're saying Nintendo and Microsoft and PlayStation's were completely done, they might be trying to stop this because they got money in the works for something else. That's fishy as fuck. Is it fishy? Yep, very fishy. Woo. Okay, Chris is here, you Prozac and pancakes eating mother. Says, I'm here, but my phone is dead. So I'm watching on my computer. Okay. Lena says, I heard that 3i Atlas is a vending machine that has been thrown from the interstellar cruiser because it's spilling pure copper or nickel. Now, from what I hear, they say, yes, it's almost pure nickel on the outside, which I don't know how the hell that happens. But, you never know what the hell's going on until it happens. I mean, it's bad enough they're hiding so much technology from us, it's sickening. I mean, every time some random starts figuring something out, they're poisoned or they're vanished or disappeared, however you want to put it. And hold on. What do I see? Oh, Joseph Blosh with a $5 super chat. And he simply goes, brains. All right, let me get you written down here, Joseph. Hopefully you like what I put on for your thank you there as far as the visuals there, because you didn't really send me or if you did, I don't think I wrote it down if you wanted something special. Like Brian in his vroom vroom motorcycle. All right, where was I? Here, I was right about here, not that far. Okay, demons. Okay, the hype system. The hype system is supposed to be kind of like a voting thing. If it's hype, the more popular the video, the more it will be seen on YouTube. That's how it's supposed to work. I love how it's supposed to work. That sounds a lot like what I was reading, but I still don't understand how that's gonna. I mean, you still got your likes, you still got your comments. Is this just another thing that's for members or something? Now, I will say this: I'm probably gonna miss out on some cash because I don't have enough videos coming out yet to support an actual members system. I know you guys would be willing to do it. You're like, oh yeah, I'll sign up. You guys are already supporting me this way, and I would be a total douche if I wasn't putting out at least one video a day for you guys to have the member system. All right, that's it. It is what it is. I won't do that to you guys. I'm not an asshole. I'm a dick. All right. Let's see. War Sniper saying, I haven't seen anything about that yet. Oh, the hype system. Yeah. Let's see. Lena says, there's a university professor that says that 3i Atlas could be an alien spaceship. They've been talking about that ever since they mentioned it. Now, unless it's actually slowing down and it's going to be in geosync orbit over this planet, I'll believe it when it happens. All right. I will definitely believe it when it happens. And that's all I can really say about that. Now, I will say this. If there are parts that fall off it and they come down to the planet, be very careful if you come across any of it that crashes. You do not know exactly what it's made of. And more often than not, for the first few hours, that thing is unbelievably hot. It was actually funny when you went to the guys over in Russia and they found tiny little flakes, some of them only about that big. They had one piece that was about the same diameter as a golf ball. And the guy went to pick it up. They showed his hand. It was scorched because he picked it up. He couldn't see during the daytime, but it was white hot. He just reached up, grabbed it, and immediately he said he picked it up and he immediately just started screaming. And part of it, the skin went with this thing. It's actually still in that piece, which is kind of funny. So just be cautious, wear gloves and you should be fine. Always got to have protection. Wear your glove. All right. Erica says 3i Atlas and California. If it hits the impact might be able to trigger San Andreas fault And due to that, Yellowstone volcano and the New Madrid fault line. Okay, you're missing a few. Right at the northern end of the country, there is also the Cascadia fault line. If that goes, Portland, Seattle, and whatever's up in British Columbia will be parking lots. The ground liquefaction that's going to be happening from that violent shake, not just from the impact, but also from the earthquake, will make ground travel impossible. Quite literally impossible. Even walking, you're going to be sinking into the ground, at least for a couple of weeks until the weather allows it to settle. Because of that, there's no help coming. The resulting tsunami, not only on the west coast of the United States, but through the Aleutians, hitting Russia, fucking up Japan, and God help those guys on Okinawa. I mean, and the Philippines are going to catch a piece of it too. It is absolutely devastating when that thing pops because it's all sorts of weird. Now, the San Andreas has a good chance of actually at that much impact cracking enough where it's going to separate part of California only due to the fact that the water is going to flood in from the Pacific Ocean and go all the way around the southern edge of, or southwestern edge of California. You are absolutely right about that, Erica. That close, I guarantee it triggers at least one fault line. If it hits with the force they say, yes, Cascadia is going to go next. New Madrid, I don't know because it has to actually pass by the Mississippi River first, and that's a big buffer. It does have the chance. It does have the ability to do so. So we'll see how that's going. She continues, this is a worst case scenario. Yep. Now, here's the fun part. If you're in any type of bad scenario, anything from a car wreck to an asteroid impact, it's almost never the initial event that kills most people. It's the after effects. It's almost always the after effects. Now, case in point, if we're, say, San Andreas pops and San Francisco and Los Angeles and all those are suddenly cut off with no electricity, no ability to pump water, no sewage, so everything's backing up, and a whole bunch of debris around, you know what the number one killer is? Hygiene. Hygiene, because most people don't know you have to sterilize your water. They don't know how. They think you can just boil a pile of piss and then drink it. Doesn't work that way. You actually just made it worse for yourself because there's so much salt in that it's like chugging 3 big jugs of Gatorade back to back. That's how bad you just soak your system in salt. It's just no. But yeah, just getting a simple cut, you're gonna get tetanus and stuff like that. It's terrible. It is absolutely horrible. And more on cleanliness later. Okay, Leonid, can you do a tunnel fight from Ace Combat 7 in War Thunder? Okay, somebody's gonna have to actually send that in. Ace Combat 7 wasn't War Thunder. I played Ace Combat 7, with Garuda 1. That was the last time any of those Ace Combats were worth a shit. The ones after that are absolutely horrible. Oi. I mean, seriously, what the fuck, over? But anyways, yeah, I've done the tunnel fight. I don't have the ability to tape it. So if somebody else wants to actually do that, where you go in the tunnel, you blast the gate and you're just firing your missiles off every time you get a lock, hoping they get far enough ahead where they take out everything before it gets you, and then blasting the tunnel on the way out. Kind of badass. I mean, the graphics don't allow you to really get into it, but it's still fun to watch and fun to do. Okay, MTF Guard says, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently there's Pentagon footage of one of our jets shooting at a UFO and a missile bouncing off of it. Okay, I have heard that rumor before. I have seen nothing. Now, here's the fun part about that. If the missile bounced off, it didn't actually bounce off the UFO, This is my understanding of it. The way they operate is they create a type of bubble, an energy bubble around them. This is not an actual shield. This is actually a breakaway from time and space itself. So when they do those movements they do, it doesn't turn the pilot's body into chunky salsa. When the missile comes in and it actually hits it, it's like a reverse electromagnetic, and it literally ricochets the metal away. It's not actually forcing anything. It's just literally, it's like pushing the same poles of a magnet together. Boink, they just go away. So yeah, fun on that. Let's see. Douglas says the old Battlestar Galactica is excellent. I never really saw much of it. I think I saw one episode as a kid and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I was like, okay, you guys can have this. Guard says, okay, so I looked up what the hype is. He says, so the hype system is pretty much there to help enlighten accounts that are below 500,000 subscribers and to get their videos more push up there. In short, the hype system is YouTube's way of apologizing for screwing over people with their subscriber counts dropping, and they're using that to get their videos more attention to gain more subs. One could hope that would work, but we'll see. Although right now, I got some people here who are absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you for being here. Very much I do. Although it makes me wonder, how many assholes do we have on this ship anyway? All right, that's enough of that joke. But yeah, I'll see what I can do about the hype system. I'll have to look into the studio and see how that's working. Lena says, I think it was Eve that is a popular character from Stellar Blade. The skinny brunette. I don't play Stellar Blade. You guys are going to have to help. Let's see. Also, he continues with, I thought about the Star Trek ships have technology advantage over the ships in Star Wars. They do, vastly. Main reason is they don't need a hyperspace lane to go to FTL. They can literally, as you fire at them, move at such a speed that your targeting computer isn't going to lock on. And by the time you turn your turrets, they've gone somewhere else. I believe it was a Captain Picard who came up with the Picard maneuver, and he literally at warp speed is moving so fast that he stopped just long enough to fire his weapons, and he was randomly stopping in different spots and just wearing down the shields of the other ship. Which was silly. If you know that's happening, all you have to do is put your own ship into FTL or warp, go out, come back as fast as you want, and come back in a different spot. And by the time they're targeting computer, you figured out where in the hell they are, and you're blasting them. So in reality, that's how that would go. And as a scenario, now I thought about doing these on the channel, actually breaking down how these would go. The Star Wars ships, and this has been proven, they've done the math. The hyperspace lanes move faster than the Trek warp speed. Fine. You are limited, though, very limited to the actual hyperspace lanes, which means once they exit that, once they're far enough away, unless they turn around and go back, they're screwed. They can't get out. Once they're in a mission, they're there. And the weapons are also very, very short range in the Star Wars universe. They're almost as short range in Trek, but not as short. Still, you got someone who can outmaneuver. And what's the survival onion? If you're spotted, don't get engaged. If you're engaged, don't get hit. Well, they've got that one, don't get hit, because they can duck, dive, dodge, and all this other stuff all the way around and say, haha, miss me, as they're basically just laying into you. The only thing Star Wars has that the Trek doesn't is the fact that they still use a shit ton of armor, which means if one of the turbo lasers gets a lucky hit and actually strikes a Star Wars or Star Trek ship, chances are the shields are not going to hold, and suddenly you got a massive hole in wherever in the hell it just hit you. The problem is you have to be very lucky and basically fire in every direction at once, hoping you hit something. But after a few shots into the engine compartment of the Star Wars ships, they're not going anywhere. And they can just be tore the hell apart. All right. After Joseph saying how he loves brains, which, by the way, I'm going to write here that you want zombies. Okay, I can't write that far away. For your shout out there, Joseph. Okay. Down here, Lenin says, I remember that James Bond movies are popular, but I forgot who the actor was. There was multiple actors. The 007 was just who they had on staff at that point. Sean Connery did it, and I forget who the other guys were. And honestly, I don't care. I believe Sean Connery was the one who came up with that famous line, lighting a cigarette. My name's Bond. James Bond, and all that shit. Let's see. Lena says, I don't really believe in 3-Eye Atlas never going to land on Earth. Well, I don't know. Guard says, another fun and funny fact about Hollow Knight Silksong. It took them 7 years to make the game, and they never told us they were making it because they had so much fun doing it. Hey, if they're having fun with a game, it must be a fun game, right? I wouldn't know much about fun games, right? Yeah. But yeah, if they're enjoying it that much, then it probably was pretty good. No wonder everybody wanted a piece of it because it was good. It's been so hard. There's such a short time. Excuse me. It's been such a long time since we got a good game. I mean, granted, for some of the few good games that are coming out now, you see the girls and you're just like, giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around. Or old school, swing, and call it good. Anyways. See, Douglas here, he says, or Juan de Fuca fault line, which is primed for a 9.2 and 100-foot tall tsunami. Hey, he spelled tsunami right. Most people don't. Yeah, that's not a fun one. That's on the Ring of Fire. That's it's not so cool. Although most major fault lines are on that. So let's see. Guard says, but no, it was probably because the fact that Steam alone had over 786,000 downloads happening at once because of pre-orders. I could see that. The way they used to handle it, I don't know if they still do this, but they would say, okay, you can get the game at, say, at midnight on, we'll say, September 10th today. Now, midnight is going to be different depending on where you are. Is it Eastern Standard? Is it Central? Is it Pacific? Is it whatever the hell the English timeline is, or wherever all the other ones are? I don't know them off the top of my head. But it's that's the way they used to do it without having everybody overload the system. Now they want to get everybody the same thing at once because they're afraid that if one or two people say, oh, I played this game for 30 minutes and it's a piece of shit, they're going to lose a bunch of pre-orders. So they're trying to drop everything at once. Let's see. Lena says, I do like Genshin characters. Do you now? And before I forget, guys, they say at least one or two people in the comment section said, I kind of feel bad for the yippies. Don't worry, they're not people, they're yippies. If you're looking at the screen, you get what I'm talking about. And that was a joke I didn't have lined up. Anyways, Guard saying Microsoft. I wonder if that was a thing about Gates, micro and soft. Anyway, Nintendo and Sony were faring no better either, especially since Microsoft made it free on Game Pass on the first day of release. Oh, shit. Yeah, that'll get a lot of orders. You know what I would really love for them to actually bring out? Bring some of the old games, just update them. And I brought up last week, like the Battlefronts 1 and 2, the original Battlefronts 1 and 2. All you have to do is update the graphics a little bit, update it so you can have more players, obviously, and more vehicles and things like that. Upgrade the bots, but keep the original maps. That's important. You can add to, but never take away. And when you do Galactic Conquest, all you have to do is make sure that there's an odd number of maps. And once you've taken all the areas on that planet, then the planet is secured for you. And the kicker is, the best way for that, or the best thing they could do, is during, again, Galactic Conquest, you got at least 4 factions there you can screw with. You got the clones, the robots, the Empire, and the Rebellion. Why not just say, pick one of these 4, we'll start you off in basically the 4 corners on the Galactic Conquest map, and you got to fight your way across, and, you know, the winner of these 4 win. And if any given time...
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What is that is a $10 super chat from Brian Kemp, our wonderful biker man who's out there, and hopefully he likes the image I sent out on the last video. Let me get you down here, Brian. And he says, just returned from a week vacation. Oh, cool. I hope you got to ride a lot, got the last bit of summer. We were 3 miles from a forest fire. Oh, it was raining ash on us. Ooh. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, did not enjoy that. Not at all. I was actually in Colorado in, what was it, 2012? Something like that, where where everything just lit up over there. I even got pictures somewhere of the fires starting. I had a picture on a cell phone of the actual flames. It honestly looked like hell. But there was a lot of creosote in the air because there's a lot of pines, and yeah, it does. It's raining ash on you there. But yeah, I sure hope you enjoyed your vacation there, Brian, and glad to see you here. All right. Where was I? Okay. Sorry. It's okay. Genshin characters. Okay. No, Lena, we're not talking about the Apophis satellite. That's different. There's a different one called Apophis. That one's not in our solar system right now. Erica, Erica's got a feeling. She's got a feeling about 3-Eye Atlas. Erica, are you thinking it's going to be a good night? Is it going to be a good night? Because you got a feeling. But make sure you haven't lost that love and feeling. That's important too. Sorry, I had to take a second to remember the name of the song for that. Anyways, Joseph is here. Says the footage of the missile actually shows it nudging the ship and the Hellfire deflecting on the fire cam. Okay, now I really want to see this video. I have no idea where to look for it, but if you guys see it, by all means, send it in and we will review it here. And I'll let you guys know exactly what I think. And, but until I get the video, can't do much. All right. Demon says, my God, YouTube makes it so hard to contact them. But complaint email sent. Now, here's the fun thing. When it comes to complaints, and I knew this a long time ago, but I just saw another video on this. If you have a complaint and they have an actual contact number, you contact them through there because that goes through a third party, and that third party bills the company based on the number of calls. If you just email and they send you a automated email, it costs them nothing. But if you call them, they're going to look into that so they can cut down the number of calls, because that is what hurts them. So if you guys want to complain about something, definitely call them up. Okay. Lenin says, I know what people say, that Star Trek ships can outmaneuver large ships from Warhammer 40K. Emperor-class ships are painfully slow. Yes, they are. At least they are in the cinematics that we see. But sometimes I wonder about the cinematics. Okay. The ones I have seen, it's literally they're trying to use that massive amount of armor as a wrecking ball, just to drive in and then use the extremely powerful weapons to, ruin everybody's day. They are literally like, oh, I can tank that hit. I can tank that hit. And then they realize, no, you can't tank that hit. Let's see. Yep, there's Erica talking about the 1-800 number. Okay. Okay, Lena says, for those who hunt elves, the only thing I can remember from that, those that hunt, god damn, now that is an old, holy shit, that came out when I think I was in high school or just after high school. Yeah, that was goofy with those three characters. Standard schlock type stuff. It's fun to watch, though. For those that hunt elves, the only thing I can remember from the anime is that they need to strip clothes from elves to go back home to Japan. That is partially true. The premise was they were trying to do a spell that was going to send them back, but the spell was going to be permanently affixed to the caster's skin. Well, she got a little frustrated with everything that was going on while she was doing the spell. She fucked it up, just like they did on Spider-Man No Way Home. And they the spell fractured and went and spread out to about 12 different elves. It was always going to attach to an elf to their skin. And the caster had to find or go with them and find it and actually move the spell back over to her body. And yeah, but they didn't actually have to strip them. They found one where the girl had an open back dress and you could see it on her back. They didn't have to strip her off to do that. They did strip one, actually made her strip, which was kind of goofy because she ended up like a partial love interest. But again, it was a very, I don't know, just a weird show. Just like most anime, and that's why we love it. Erica says, the Yippies? I thought it was a play on Yuppies. Perhaps. It's kind of, yeah. Originally it wasn't. I literally just pulled the name out, but I've run with it. And again, if you're doing your story and you've got something already in there, something that cannot be removed, just go with it. Just ride it in. Just pull your slip and ride that sucker in to the landing. There you go. And by the way, that's airborne, where you actually reach up, pull the slip, and that directs you sideways. But yeah. Let's see. Erica says, yikes. Got your lungs checked out. Oh, get your lungs. Oh, yeah. Actually, something that's kept me from losing my lungs was ozone treatment. I went and did that myself, where they actually put O3 into your system. And I couldn't breathe, or I couldn't inhale. You ever get hit in the, not the solar plexus, god damn it. The xiphoid, right there, that little bone that sticks down. And you get it just right. You can't breathe. You can exhale, but you can't breathe in. Well, it's the same thing when I got that O3, that ozone in my system. I wasn't suffocating, but I couldn't inhale. My body wouldn't let me inhale because that would have just been too much. And they would probably had to call the paramedics. And I just started coughing. I started hacking something up. And the guy's like, yeah, that was probably lung cancer. I was like, what? Or hold on, better yet.
What? Yeah.
And when I told him it was from the burn pits, he goes, oh, yeah, you were actually getting close to lung cancer. You just probably hacked it out of your system. So, yeah. But anyways, whoa, shit. Sorry, this thing jumped. Sorry, guys. Lena says, I don't really like the name Yippee. Reminds me of dog aliens. I have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. Demon says, I know you said you had to nerf the drone fleet, and I think I figured out how you did it. They never used their stealth system, and they just jumped straight into combat. But I do understand why you did it. Yeah, because they would just show up next to you, or they'd show up next to you, or forget next to you. They'd show up behind you and go, just hold your breath. It won't hurt as much. You know, it's just, well, that was one of the things I did. I do have to thank you, Demon. You reminded me that they have to actually pull in their smaller ships before they can jump, and that's actually been a major part of their tactics. I'm glad you reminded me of that because I totally missed that or not missed it, but I forgot it from when I was reading your stuff. But your stuff was pretty in depth, so yeah. But anyways, not to say that the stealth system might not show up later. Maybe I haven't decided yet. Anyways, Lena says here, yeah, there's some fun made Genshin videos that reimagine characters with modern weapons. Now, one of the things that's out there, especially us older folks, because not everybody here is my age or older. There are now a bunch of, I don't know if it's through ChatGPT or whatever, but they take the old cartoon characters and they actually show you what they would look like in real life. And some of them are creepishly good. I mean, just yikes. And some of them, I still remember when they did the He-Man, and I was like, I knew there was a reason I liked Evelyn, or just Evelyn, or however you want to put it. Which, oddly enough, a character I was going to use on the DC comic story I created, or DC comic base story I created, would be able to jump into the He-Man dimension, and he actually meets her. It's actually funny when she tries to zap him, and he just like telekinetically like pulls that friggin' stick out of her hands and goes, why did you just do that? Well, I was trying to kill you. Well, it just hurt a little bit. So, yeah, stop doing that. He just throws it back at her like, stop doing that. That's smarts. Anyways. Let's see. Where was I? Okay. Demon, he says, also, can't wait for you to use the offensive Dreadnought's most powerful weapon. The 3 massive energy projectors, similar but far more powerful to the Covenant glassing beams on the belly of the ships. They haven't had a need to glass planets. That's why I haven't used that. And pure and simple, they're capturing planets, not destroying them. See, Guard says, kind of enjoying just sitting here, playing Gears of War 3 while listening to Sin. Literally on a turret section where you are the turret. Am I the turret? I hope I'm not the turd it. And let's hope you don't get a
Game over, man. It's game over.
anytime soon. Okay, Leonid also says, if I can't send the YouTube link to the video through the chat, then it's impossible. No, just if you send a link via email or something like that, I will get it. There's been some issues with the emails, yes, with a certain person. I won't mention who. And he found a workaround. But I've been getting the emails, which is why you guys get videos like this. That reminds me, I had chicken for dinner. Anyways. Okay, let's see. Why does it keep doing that? I'm sorry, guys. This thing keeps moving on me. I keep missing everything. All right. Guard says, it's a just your care, huh? Standing on the back of a truck with a shoulder carried Gatling gun with infinite ammo. Oh yeah, talking about my shirt. Okay, yeah. For some reason, it doesn't have the actual turret on it. I don't know why. Maybe it slipped into the word warthog. I don't know. But yeah, that's I got this shirt a long time ago when Halo 2 came out and LAN parties were still a thing. I miss LAN parties. They were fun. A bunch of us getting blitzed off our ass, drinking or eating a bunch of junk food and stuff like that. Our girlfriends watching us get sloshed off our ass. We're so hammered that our character on the screen is moving left and right. We're trying to shoot. We're like 2 inches away, and we're just all over the place. And of course, you hear his guys in the other room. You motherfucker! I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna beat your ass out there. Especially when you make like a rate shot from the other side of the map, and that sucker lands absolutely perfect, and they can't dodge it. Those are just hilarious times. Anyways. Okay. So Chris sent the Hellfire. I'm going to watch that later. I can't pull it up right now because if I try to I've tried it once before. If I'm streaming and I try to pull in a new video, I have some serious problems on StreamYards. I don't know why that is. They're supposed to be one of the better ones, but it seems like a lot of people are having trouble on StreamYards lately. So it won't let you super chat. Wait a minute. The thing is, Chris, don't forget you sent in the big one last week. So trust me, you're good. I mean, if you, at least for your shout outs, you're good because you got another 3 weeks of shout outs. Guys, that's the rule. You send a bill, you get a month, pure and simple. All right. Guard says, try exiting out of YouTube and hopping back in. It should okay, he's talking to Chris. Okay. Yeah, he's on his computer, man, and he's not on his phone. Yeah, how you guys can do that through your phone and not lose your minds, I don't know, because I don't pay anything through my phone. I got rid of Venmo when we found out that one guy, the Venmo got hacked, and suddenly, like, everything he had in there, like a couple of $1,000 was just gone. And I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. And you've never seen a group of people pull their phones out so fast. Every single person got the application and immediately emptied it and deleted it. I only had like maybe $20 in it because somebody just sent me something, and I'm just like, yeah, deposit and out. It was about that quick for me. Other people had some issues. Anyways, Lenin says, even after 30 years later, I don't really know what really happened in the movie Total Recall. Yes, Steven, Total Recall was 30 years ago. It's been a while. The thing with Total Recall is the ending was supposed to be ambiguous. Did he actually save the day? Or was it all an implanted dream? You don't know. It was meant to be that way. And it was all about corporate greed and taking over an entire population, an entire planet. Now, I will say this. There's been a whole bunch of talk about the AI companions because they're getting very good. When the people are talking about those, okay, let me throw an AI on the screen so you're not just staring at me. Where here you go. Okay, well, it's not AI, it's CGI. Anyway, when it comes to the AI companions and how that's going to affect people socially, this has already been tackled in anime. It's an anime called Armitage the Third, and it's actually very good. It gets kind of goofy at the end. However, it's still very good. It tackles this issue right in its face, and they did a decent job. I recommend that you watch it. It's one of those 1990s ones that still holds up today. They actually made a second one called Dual Matrix, which I thought was kind of interesting. And the kicker is, if you read this or listen to the subtext in Dual Matrix, there's another part of the android that can give birth part that a lot of people are either going to be very enthused about or scared to death of. Let's see. Guard says, I'm pretty sure I still have the DVD of the original Total Recall. Okay. Hold on to that, because now you own nothing and you're going to be happy with it because you got to download anything, which I think is bullshit. That's why I'm actually mad that I got rid of my games back in the day, because those were, believe it or not, you can sell the original discs for a lot of money now. So I only kept the good ones. Okay, Demon says, I could have a Titan suddenly end up under one. Hold on. You could have a Titan stupidly end up under one and find out the hard way. That's true. That is very true. The thing is, most of those that are used to glass a planet are usually fairly short range just because of the energy output. The farther range, the more you need, and it's already a powerful weapon anyway. Okay, Guard says, okay, after taking your second to look through my physical movies, and yes, I do. Yeah, good for you. And I just spilled beer on myself. That's smart. Party foul. All right. Lena says, my favorite video games are Dragonampa. No, Dragon. Oh. Dang. Oh, God damn. I can't even. Did you just throw this in? I'm going to try this again. Dan Gan Ronpa. I really like him. Okay. I'm at a loss. I never even heard that. Guard says, not going to lie. Are you sure? I've been playing the living hell out of my old Xbox boat game I found called Hydro Thunder. Oh, I used to love that. The one where you're actually sitting there and you got the throttle and everything. I used to play the shit out of that. Unfortunately, nowadays, if you find the actual sit-down game to get into, the actual arcade game, the I don't know why, but the screen gets so dark. There's something wrong in the coding, or there's something wrong in the hardware, but you can't see what the hell you're doing. Hydro Thunder. You're crazy. Choose your track. Choose your boat. Okay, Chris here says, oh, by the way, I won't be here next week. I have a date with a hot redhead. I'm just asking for trouble. But I wonder what type of trouble type redhead it might be. You know what they say, red on the head, fire in the bed. And also it falls into the old joke of, it's just three questions rattled. How do you know when you satisfied a blonde? She goes, next. How do you know when you satisfied a brunette? She goes, oh, that was fun. You want to get married? How do you know when you satisfied a redhead? She unties you and allows you to treat the scratches on your back. Yeah. So anyway, Lena says AI is making redneck versions of Stargate SG-1 and Avengers that are hilarious. Okay. Now I kind of wish I had more time in the day because that sounds hilarious. I personally despise SG-1. The only thing that made it worth watching is that the characters were taking it serious, or the actors were taking it serious, but not serious enough. They like to joke around way too much. And that's what made it entertaining. The actual story was crap. Let's see. Guard says, a little fun fact is that game, with that game, it started off as an arcade game, yep. But just to get it some more traction, they partnered up with Xbox so that the 360 came out with its second and third model. Hydro Thunder came pre-installed with a demo that you could play of it with the full game only being $10. Oh, that's a good deal. Thanks to having Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you got it for $4. Okay. That's a good deal. full game for $4. And that game, especially if you got a couple people playing, that can be really fun. Especially when you start pushing each other around the track and your boat goes flying because somebody clipped the nuke box or got the mines. I did that once. Somebody in front of me got the mines, and I tried to cut hard right, and didn't realize that they sprayed out both ends. Next thing I know, kaplowy, I landed right into it. Of course, that was a bot player I was playing against, but whatever. Let's see. Whoa, shit. War Sniper. Sin, do you think about Russia that have attacked the Polish with the drones? Okay, I haven't heard about this. Well, it's honestly, I don't think it's the Russians. I think it's the Belarusians. However, they're basically Russia Junior. I mean, that's pretty much it. I haven't heard anything about the Polacks like me getting attacked by drones. So I'll look into that one. Chris says, AI or CGI, it's still going to catch our eye. Dude, put that on a shirt. Oh, man, that's good. AI or CGI, it's going to catch our eye. Yep. Abso-fucking that, dude. Cheers on that. That was so good. Holy, you have a gift for some of this stuff, man. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. That was pretty good. All right, I'm out of beer. Okay. Leonid says, I don't like what Google is doing with Android phones. Now you need their permission to sideload apps. I don't know what sideload is, and I don't do apps on my phone. Seriously, if I pull my phone's over there, if I pulled it up and showed you where the apps were, I think there's 2, and that's it. I just don't. I personally don't use a lot of apps. I don't need them. The only one I'm gonna have to re-upload is the one that scans QR codes. Let's see. Demon says, micro jump over top of it. Yeah, I haven't put that in any of the stories in a while. It's actually micro jump in a battlefield. Honestly, that if you have a bunch of turrets or a bunch of mounted weapons on the sides, dorsal, ventral, starboard, or port, if you get in the middle of the formation and you just start unloading, by the time they realize that you're there, you've already penetrated their ship from one end to the other. Alcohol spilling, so that's alcohol abuse when you spill. Okay. Chris says, unfortunately, all walking titans have 2 blind spots. They're under the left foot and the right foot. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you guys seen, but they just came out with, I don't know if this is part of one of the Warhammer games, but they actually activate 3 titans and they have a full-blown titan battle with other like chaos titans or however that's supposed to go. And it's actually pretty good. And you notice it's not just one person in control of it. You know, a battle mech is one person because it's plugged straight into your head. Now, could it be operated by the one person who's not really a person anymore? It's just a person in a piece of fluid, barely keeping them alive. That could control the entire, yeah, but it's mostly piloted by a crew. You got most people on sensors, and you got the pilot in the goo, and you have a weapons officer, and then you have the commander. So, yeah. I got to admit, when they do it good, they do it good. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I'm not going to ruin anything. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend. I think it's part of one of the games. I don't remember the title, so don't ask. Demon sitting there. I remember Hydro Thunder. That game was fun as hell. Well, I don't know if hell is fun, but yeah. Erica says, I have no date, so it ain't me. I knew you'd catch that one, Erica. I knew it. I knew it. All right. Let's see. Lena says, I still like funny videos with vehicles acting like animals. And you're watching animal documentaries. Planes are birds, helicopters are insects, and cars are different land animals. I've seen, I think, one of those, and I don't remember if I even got through the whole thing. Because it rings a bell, and I don't know why.
What? What the fuck?
What's going on is we got $10 super chat from Guardian Sage. He is here, and he decided to say,
Greetings, mortals and other assorted beings.
long live Syntext and everybody else who's watching. Hooah. Okay, let me write you down here, Guardian. And perhaps Guardian would send a couple more pictures so I can have something in my file, because Guard just sent me through email, I think it was 4 brand new pictures that are now in circulation whenever I give him his shout outs. So if you, and Erica, she sent me a bunch as well. So if you guys want something specific in your shout outs, by all means, send it via email. I will get it in circulation. Everybody who sends me stuff gets their own folder. So it is what it is. And thank you very much, Guardian. Very much appreciated. Now, let me get to where I was before, which I have no idea where I was. Lena says, and you're going to make me pronounce this every time. Danganronpa is a murder mystery detective video game where you need to find out who the killer is. And then they get punished by executions. Ooh. War Sniper. 9 have been found as of now. Oh, really? Polish have activated Article 4. Oh, Christ. As if we didn't have enough problems. It's, we're trying to stay away from the political stuff, guys, but we don't need any of that, because guess what? If they get pulled in to some sort of conflict, the entire fucking UN is going to get pulled in, and then NATO, and then we're going to get dragged in, kicking and screaming, and our guys are not going to be happy when they get loaded up on C-130s and they got to travel for, I think it's 9 hours flight time before they jump out the back. And they're going to be pissed. They're going to be extremely pissed when they do, because they're going to be hot. They're going to be tired. They're going to be hungry. And most of them are going to be jonesing for nicotine so bad that you're not going to enjoy anything what they're going to want to do. So, yeah. Let's hope to God that shit don't happen or get any worse. I should just say it that way. Because the thing is, I've worked with the Polacks, guys. I've actually gone on training missions with them. Those guys are serious professionals. I've worked with the Lithuanians, the Estonians, and guys like that. Their military is extremely small, but every single one of them is trained basically to be special forces. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of training they get. So yeah, let's not do this. Okay, Chris says a friend with Team 3 is currently there. No, they didn't. There's a lot of misinformation being spread trying to start a war because both the EU and Ukraine are failing or falling. Yeah. Well, they did the one thing you don't want to do in modern warfare. They dug in. If you allow the enemy to dig in, you're screwed. You're not going anywhere. They learned this lesson in World War I. That's why World War II was a movement or a war of movement is what they said. And every single one of the static defenses was breached very quickly. The only one that held for a long time was over by, I believe it was the Maginot Line and Monte Cassino, because the topography was definitely on the defender's side. The Atlantic Wall fell in a day. The Siegfried Line was just covered in dirt and rolled across. It took a couple of hours. That's it. I mean, it's just static defenses are bullshit now. What do they say? Static defenses are the graveyards of armies. So, yeah. Yeah, you're right, guard. Oh, goody, goody. Yeah. And you're right, Chris. Russia ain't doing any better. They can't get their guys to actually sign up and go. They have no armor to speak of because it's all been sitting there for like 40 years. It doesn't work. And the stuff they do get, they don't have supply lines. I mean, I've done entire stories based on cutting the enemy's supply lines. All right, I'm gonna try and get away. Yeah, Article 5. Let's hope not. We already have some shit popping off over here. We don't need any more war. Chris says, yeah, that would be bad. No shit. No shit. War Sniper saying, I hope NATO wakes up. Well, we'll see. All right. I need to get some extra drinks in me. So, how about let's pop a plane or two?
I don't think this to say he's behind you.
Well, whenever you're spawning on me, so
Yeah.
good game. Me? Nope, I'm getting shot now.
Oh, I just got that shell right in that doorway.
Let me climb the pole. I want to be a pole dancer.
God damn it, dude. I don't think we're gonna do this.
We still have 30, so we can still manage.
Yes,
we did it.
win.
We finally got a win.
And we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little quick break we took. Let's see. Leonid's here says, I watched a funny Star Trek parody video where the food synthesizer would not save you from cholesterol. It's not going to save you anyway. The food synthesizer, the replicator, whatever hell you want to call it, in reality, it's just called molecular assembler. When we get it, a lot of shit's going to change. However, it's not going to stop food production because there's always going to be a desire for the real thing. A lot of people are just not going to, they're just not going to trust it. Even though it might be healthy for you, they're still not going to trust it because they're going to worry that somebody's going to play with a code and suddenly you think you're eating, I don't know, egg salad sandwich and there's, I don't know, methamphetamine in it. You don't even know it till you start tweaking the fuck out. Chris says, 4 tours was enough for me and I'm getting old. They need to stop lying and using war to prop up failing leaders while using our lives as collateral. 100%. Now, the thing is, thanks to things like World War II and World War I, they realized that a failing economy can be delayed from death through war. War economies are exceptionally profitable, especially if you're the one selling the weapons. Unfortunately, they forgot the simple rule that was at the very end of The Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. What's the rule? The one rule: never go to war. And who's gonna take over the world? Weapons dealers, because everybody else is too busy killing each other. And there's just too many people who are going to say, screw you guys, we don't have time for this. Now, I will say this. The Polish government is one of the few governments that has been completely stand up, and they've been just good guys. They are all about Poland first and making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be in their land. Okay. And they've done an excellent job. I've been to Warsaw. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I just happened to be there for the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War One. And I was there with the fireworks and the ringing the bells, and it was November 11th at 1100, and the whole city, nobody was driving, everybody was just partying their ass off because it was such a big deal. But it's just a nice place. Anyways, gonna get up here. War Sniper says, Erica have sent a bunch, I know for sure. She want me to send them. Okay. I'm guessing photos or pictures here. Guardian says, I'm currently trying to save up enough to commission a few drawings of the Guardian Sage right now. The only pictures I have are the Hero Forge miniatures I've designed. That's interesting. Now, I will say this. If you're going to commission drawings, look to Korea or Japan. Reason being is they're not going to rip you the fuck off. People over here in the US think if you're drawing or you're writing, that's supposed to be enough to keep you going like a regular 9-to-5 job. Bullshit. These are side projects. Unless you are somebody who, like the guy who wrote Game of Thrones or the one who wrote Harry Potter, you're not going to make enough money for a living on writing. It's just not the way it is. Now, there are a few other exceptions, like the writers over in Hollywood, but they are, well, they're just some weird people. And they want so much money that it doesn't make sense. Not to mention, they're not making quality stuff anymore. Yeah, I think they are mad at Russia there, War Sniper. Let's see. Erica says, I'm south of 30 and still north of 40. Have a cat, single, take care of older parents. Might as well start my crazy cat lady phase now. You want the crazy cat lady starter kit? Is that what you're talking about? And yeah, Terrence Pop does that joke. There's an actual like fake toy, the crazy cat lady starter kit, which is actually hilarious. That being said, you're here with us. I don't think you're crazy cat lady. Because if you were, as soon as you got on here, you would start bitching and moaning at everybody. Guard says, so with Hydro Thunder on the Xbox, it was called Hydro Thunder Hurricane. And I got to say, the game is quite fair. You got to have some damn skill if you want to make it past some of those tracks. Yeah, I would expect so. It's a lot harder when you're using a stick than an actual steering wheel. I got to say that. That goes with a lot of those games. Just like Mario Kart, I have some issues dealing with that because I end up turning too sharp when I'm using the pad. But it is what it is. He continues with his, but like hell, where are you going? Everywhere. I went to the Grand Canyon, through Paris, through the ancient temple in the way, stormed the lost city of Babylon, and even Valhalla. I'm sure that's from some game, and I have no idea what. This is it continues. Oh, and Tokyo. I had to drive through Tokyo twice and still have one kid. You not 20 more tracks to unlock. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, so that's it. Okay, you're talking about the actual Hydro Thunder. Okay, gotcha. All right. Lena says, for some reason, the Star Trek weapons officer's standing behind the captain's seat, and he can't get a seat or seatbelts. Well, the thing is, how they justify that is the inertial dampeners, even though they show they don't work, because every time the ship is hit, that's why they all fall down to one side. In actuality, if you're hit that hard, you're not just falling down, you're going kersplat against the wall really, really hard. And that's actually one of the things on Babylon 5. When they first started, they had everybody actually buckled in. And The Expanse has that too. If they're hit by something like shrapnel or a meteor or something, they'll be launched sideways. They also have the rapid acceleration, deceleration. If you're not ready for it, it'll tear you in half. or many, many, many little pieces turned into a whole bunch of little pieces stuck on a wall that are goop. Guard says, for the game being released back in 2013, it has a lot of content. Good. Hey, the more content, the better on these games. Chris says, Erica, you got this, and you find it out. Okay, I don't get what you're saying. Okay. Anyway, Demon says, sorry, I got quiet. I was cooking dinner, cheeseburgers with an egg on top. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I will say this though, when I was over in Korea, they looked at us like we were nuts. We had a whole big thing. We were cooking steaks and burgers and chicken and everything like that. And one guy actually cooked an egg, put it on top. And especially the older Korean women, they're just screaming. And we didn't know what the hell they were saying because they're talking so fast that even if I knew a little Tagalog, I'm just like, what? And come to find out, they're like, you're never supposed to do that. That's too much this and too much that. And the guy's got his mouth full. He's like, I don't give a shit. Oh, he gave a shit when that woman came over and started saying screaming how she's going to knock that thing out of his hand because it's unhealthy. He's like, and thankfully the Katusa told her, reminded her to back off because these guys are at don't give a fuck level. And they will definitely not give a fuck when they pop you in the face. Let's see. Demon says, I hope it is a dose sounds good right now. My doctor made me go on a diet, so I'm using ingredients I don't normally use. Little to no seasoning, sadly. Okay. Chris also says, as long as none of us steal baseballs from kids on their birthday, I'd say all of us are doing life right. That was, oh my God, I saw that. I was like, what in the hell is going on? I didn't know who was more of a bitch or a pussy because when she went over and she yelled that guy, he said, oh, no, don't touch me. Ah. And the thing is, I don't know if he was joking around or what, but it was kind of embarrassing. He's never going to live that down. I guarantee his friends are still giving him shit. That being said, I don't know what the fuck her problem was. For those of you who don't know, that weren't watching, I forget which team was playing. They were, and I don't watch a lot of sports anyway. It was a home run. It went into the stands. Nobody caught the ball. The guy ran over and got the ball that was rolling down the bleachers or whatever. He went over to his son, gave it to his son. It was his birthday. And some Karen lady walked over and said, I caught that. Yeah, it was mine, yada, yada, yada. And finally, he gave it to her. It was all caught on video. And I felt bad for the kid until I found out that the player that actually knocked the home run showed up, had the kid come in, gave him an autographed bat, and took pictures with him and did all sorts of this other stuff. And you couldn't wipe the smile off that kid's face if you tried. And they basically said, I got your six, man. We're good. So, but yeah, I don't know what seriously. And the kicker is just like the guy that got caught at the Coldplay concert, or the other CEO who stole the hat from the kid. What is it with these people that have all this money, all this stuff, and they just need more stuff? What the fuck is wrong with them? All right. Lenin says, Panty and Stockings introduced Inferno Cop in one episode. Inferno Cop is really goofy. From what I hear, the whole show is goofy. So how can you tell? Guard saying, you should have some bacon with it, Demon. So you would have a bacon, egg, and cheeseburger. That shit slaps. Oh, yeah. It's going to slap on the way out as your cheeks are slapping together from the gas. Demon says, also on the nerfing comment, I feel like 120K gun would pack a bigger punch. Yeah. Yeltsin says, I don't have any bacon, otherwise I would. My doctor says I can't have it. Now, the thing is, I don't trust doctors a lot. Okay. Very few times will I trust them for anything. Reason being is they've told my dad to do things where he's like, I can't do that. He'll get kidney stones. And the doctor's like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Later on, at least admitted he was wrong. But still, aren't you supposed to know this stuff? Aren't you supposed to be the subject matter expert? It's like they're just trying to give people pills. Now, if I went to the VA and they checked my blood pressure, they would want to give me pills right away. However, I'm heading back to the gym every morning, and I actually have a chart. It's maybe 10 feet from me. I started checking my my blood pressure. I'm below the danger zone, but not by much. I still got to bring it further down. Of course, this stuff ain't helping, but yeah, if somebody told me I couldn't have bacon, I'd tell them, there's a door. Feel free to let it hit you in the ass on the way out. War Sniper says, well, it's official. The Polish have declared Article 4 against Russia. Oh, balls. This could be bad. This could be very bad. This could be so bad that you end up having another bunch of shooters.
They're in our base.
Got it. Oh, hell yeah. That was beautiful. Oh, I see him. Boom. One down.
And again.
Two down.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to
Enjoying your booster shots? Well, the idiots on our team unlocked the door and ran out of it.
Yeah.
And armored vehicle is down. When the fuck did they arm A?
B's the important one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was looking here on the comment section where Demon was, I guess you typed it before I even said it. You know, the guy still stealing the hat and the lady with the balls. I mean, maybe she wanted it because that's the only ball she gets to grab. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, I don't know what it is about people taking from kids. That's bullshit. Okay? They're fucking children. And I don't know what the hell's people's problems is. I mean, it's whatever. Okay. War Sniper says, oh yeah, I just obtained the last aircraft piece. I needed to get me one step closer to get going from prop fighter to jet fighter. I can even get an F-22 on the end. Ooh. You know, a lot of people have run scenarios. Could one F-22 have changed things at Pearl Harbor? And the fact of the matter is, no, there's just not enough firepower. Now, if you had an entire aircraft carrier, that would have changed everything. Because by the time they even got within 50 to 100 miles of the shore, you'd already be hitting them with missiles they wouldn't be able to see coming. You know, just loading up the F-15s and F-14s with all that heavy shit. And yeah. Fox 2. Those, if you don't know, that's air to air. Fox 3 is heavier shit. Anyway, Lena says, well, I remember the joke from episode 1 Bandits. We're not doing anything wrong. We already paid taxes. Corrupt cop goes, okay. He continues with, I don't know. I think Russians would be very happy if Poland invades Western Ukraine. That means Ukrainians would start fighting Polish troops. It's not Ukraine. It's Belarus. When you look at the map, you'll see Ukraine, and here's Poland. Belarus is up just north of Ukraine, and they share a border with Poland. They actually share a border with a bunch of them. And Yeah, that again could be bad. And I don't think the Belarusian army has what it takes to actually get through those friggin' Polacks. They know their shit. I don't say that lightly. They know their shit. And I mean, hell, when I was at one of my NCO schools, we had a guy from the Polish army there. He even had on his shoulder, he had his flag. I just walked up to him, said, "Jak się masz," which is how you doing in Polish. And he got this big grin on his face. He starts speaking in Polish like, "Dude, that's all I know. Help." He thought it was funny, and we, joked around on it a little bit. But better yet, I haven't put that on in a while. It's one of those things. I don't know why everybody is trying to just destroy something that's good. Oh, wait, because they're not the one that's good. And the kicker is that's actually a demonic thing. A demonic thing where you're obsessed with destroying the innocent and the beautiful. Not taking it for yourself, but just destroying it. Turning beauty into filth and innocent into tainted. It's literally out of Lucifer's playbook. I mean, it is what it is. Demon says, "Oh yeah, I got a new job. So depending on if my training is on day shift or night shift will determine when my last live stream will be." Oh boy. Hate to lose you, Demon. You're on here a lot. And it continues with, "I will work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. when I start third shift. So I will not be able to do these anymore once that starts. Sadly. If I train on nights, then the 24th will be my last live stream. If I train days, it will be at a later date." Okay. I can understand that. I mean, you do what you got to do. Just like with the whole super chat thing. I appreciate every single one of you. Hell, I'm going to list you off right now. We got Steve, Prozac Pancakes, Douglas, Erica, Demon, Guard, Joseph, Brian, and Guardian. And I appreciate every single time you guys send one of those, but I'm never going to ask. Because it's up to you. You guys enjoy what I do, and you guys help me stay motivated to do what I do. So it works out. It's symbiotic, and those are always the best type. Last thing from Demon there, he says, "I'll slip and just to send a super chat." Okay. Well, I can send it other ways, but yeah, I got you. I appreciate that a lot. And Chris is right. Congratulations on the new job. I don't want to go. Oh, but I have to. Okay, we'll see you later. And because of that, I believe this one's yours, Demon, and we'll catch you later.
Now, hi! Now, hi! Sonic Finishですの。私を止めてみなさい。リベル3アクションですの。Now、カウンターですの。こちらです。Now、無駄だ。こちらだ。こちらです。カウンターですの。カウンターですの。カウンターですの。Overloading barrier。ジャスティス。カウンターですの。結界放射。ソニックセイバー。追いつく。セレイ。カウンターですの。ソニックセイバー。ソニックセイバー。ソニックセイバー。ソニックセイバー。まだです。イージスブレイド。無駄です。こちらです。フィニッシュです。 I'm sorry, Tsubaki, but I couldn't lose this fight. Noe?
I put that on just because we got Demon leaving, and hopefully he's seen it. And thanks, appreciate it. And by all means, if you want to send more stuff in as far as videos and whatnot, you're welcome to do so. If you want to throw a picture of something specific, if not, I'll just keep with what I got or grab a few extras as I go. And whenever you get your shout outs. Let's see. Lena says, I have some little experience with trying to write fan fiction. I always wanted to brainstorm with an AI how to rewrite some shows. Now, the thing with AI is it doesn't invent shit. And one of the key things, if you're going to do fan fiction, is you can't just duplicate what somebody else has. You have to create something new, something original for the show. AI can't do that. That's its major failure, is it can't invent. It can adapt to what's out there, but it can never invent. Now, a lot of people say, well, you can get on ChatGPT and just say, oh, give me extra character who's from this species, and you got this swinging or not swinging between the legs, and yada, yada, yada. And okay, I made a new character. When you do that, the AI did not make a new character. You did. You told them about the character. You told them the name, the species, all that other shit. You created the character. They didn't. If they were going to, anybody who, and yeah, good night, Demon. If AI was going to make something and you said, hey, make me a new Star Wars movie, it would use the exact same characters it had before. It would not invent anything. That is the key. So. Guard here. Oh God, we're talking about the CEO guy that stole that from the kids' baseball after the actual baseball player signed himself. Yeah, that was that. How do I put it? We used to have a phrase called an ass whooping offense. If you did something so egregious that the only thing that you deserve is to be beat into the ground, that's an ass whooping offense. And what that guy did was an ass whooping offense. Just like the Sheldon character on Big Bang, which I find it hilarious that the Big Bang Theory actually got a Nobel Prize. Oh dear God, because the Big Bang Theory has been disproven multiple times. Because the Big Bang Theory, by simple logic, cannot happen. In the beginning, there was nothing that exploded. That's the Big Bang Theory. Does it hold up to the sniff test? Nope, not at all. I mean, shocker. Want to smell it? Anyways, yeah, it's with the whole baseball thing. It's just each of these people, and like I said, for the Big Bang Theory, the Sheldon character has done things where the only answer is to whoop his skinny, tall ass so much that he can't friggin' move for a while. Let's see. Chris says, I think Rose Tico should get her own movie. Come on, House of Mouse. It's what Star Wars really needs. It took me a second to remember who Rose Tico was. The most unnecessary character in all of the Star Wars. All of the shows, all the movies, all the comics. The most unneeded character. And it's just crazy. Ugh. So anyway, yeah, the thing is, they might actually try to do that because they've already screwed over almost every other character. You know they're not doing Darth Talon because she is far too attractive for Kathleen Kennedy to allow to be there. Okay, she is the Sith seductress. I remember writing a short about that a long time ago because the guy I was in the tower with, who was a Star Wars encyclopedia, said, I don't think you could write a short story with this character. I said, oh, you want to bet? And I'll bet when I finish up, you think it's better than what you're reading. And it was unbelievably simple. It was Dark Talon showed up. She needed information from somebody. And when he first saw her, the first thing he did, he's like, oh, and he, as polite as possible, he actually goes up, he actually calls her Mistress Talon as a sign of respect, not that she's better than him. And just like even does a quick little bow and stuff like that. And she's like, I'm here for the information. He's like, ma'am, it's everything in trade around here. If I give everything away for free, that's bad business. That I'm going to be dead very soon. And of course she does, well, you can be dead anyway if you don't give me the information. He's like, ma'am, I'm not that stupid. You might want to kill me afterwards, but you can't kill me till you get what you need. And then if I show that I can get what you need, why would you kill me? Because that's a resource you just killed. That doesn't make any sense. So how about we just do business? And at one point, he actually tells her that because she takes off that stupid robe and he sees her in that friggin' tube top and little bit that she wears underneath. And he goes, wow, you do live up to your reputation. She's like, what are you talking about? You are, and he actually just compliments her. He's like, you are so gorgeous that I have to look away now or else I will not be able to control myself as a man. And he literally just walks out the door. But that's the reason they won't do Dark Talon, because she's too good. Rose Tico, they got an actress, which I believe the word now is mid. But that's how they do things, just like The Handmaid's Tale. They got an actress who's mid at best. Which, by the way, The Handmaid's Tale was terrible. Don't ever watch it. That's pretty good. I mean, from a certain point of view, the older universe exploded. Yeah, okay. That's just that was funny, man. That I needed that chuckle. Okay, Brian says, found the old supposed Navy video shooting at the UFO. The video quality is crap. It's always crap. They're never going to give you high definition. They're always going to show you what garbage they've scrambled. Garth says, like in realistic mode, you should not be able to get one scout and a kill assist and be able to spawn in a plane with 3 1,000-pound bombs in it. Ooh. Well, I'm not playing that game, so I can't say too much. He continues with, but then you're going to be that douche that sits there in that plane the whole match, bombing everybody instead of helping the actual bombers on your team while they get massacred. I saw that. There's actually a channel I thought was going to be good. And I started giving the guy crap because I watched his matches. I actually looked up other people who were playing these matches. Because if you look, it actually has a timestamp. It's hard to see. You have to pause the video and actually look in real close, but it's there. So I went and started looking at anybody on these matches, and almost every single one where they're shooting these videos, the team lost. The actual team on the ground, people who were there to play the game, lost because these guys are fucking around, not doing what they're supposed to. And only once or twice do they show the very end, like, oh, our team won. You can hear it, like they're amazed, like, oh my God, we actually won. But yeah, it's kind of weird. They'll allow players like that to play, but the team of actual pilots that went up, they would literally go up in War Thunder. They take their bombers, go up, do a big circle, and they would come out at somewhere around 4,000 or 5,000 feet. Which is not all that high, but it's high enough where the AA guns can't really touch them. And they would sit there. It's like bomb bay doors open, pilot to bomber, your ship, my ship. And everybody would just line up, bomb bay doors open, and just be staring. They wouldn't do anything. And then all of a sudden you hear bombs away and everybody would drop their shit. And it's an absolute textbook carpet bomb right where it needs to be. And those guys got kicked off. They actually got booted because they were too good. In one run, they killed every single person but one on the enemy team. And the only reason they missed that one is because the guy was doing Overwatch way off in the corner and nobody saw him. He wasn't shooting. He was literally just calling targets. It's the kind of thing that kind of pisses me off. Just like those guys on Battlefield 1. They literally got a whole bunch of the engineers with the mortar. And you see him running up. They're like, target, bravo, stop, hold, hang it. And they actually pull everything down. Fire, fire 2, fire 3, fire for effect. And then all of a sudden, all right, move on, move in, assault through. And they take the point. And they're just winning game after game after game after game. I mean, yeah, I don't like it when clans mix like that because it does mess things up, but you got to give the guys credit where credit's due. Lena's here saying, my favorite headcanon is that Count Dooku wanted to be the chosen one. Oh, I should be the chosen one because I slid out of a certain hairy ass and bumped my head. Oh. Yeah. Which, by the way, use that on somebody who thinks they're big shit. Like, you think you're shit? You think you're the shit because you slid out of somebody else's hairy ass and bumped your head? The hell's wrong with you? I'll actually look at you sideways because there is no recovery of that. So let's see. Guard says, yeah, my hatred for planes is extremely palpable. Hell, one day it was almost frothing at the mouth at levels of angry. Yeah, I noticed. Guard says, yeah, nope, I just read that. Okay, Erica says, in my opinion, it would be better to be with somebody physically lower than wanted, but has the personality you want and need. Well, yeah, there's never a perfect. It doesn't happen. But it doesn't stop people from looking. Unfortunately, when people have lists of what they want, it's not cool. Demon, I thought you were going to work. Says, okay, I have to admit it. I'm one of those people that almost never gets out of a vehicle once I'm in it. But I do try my best to still help out the objectives sitting at a red light. Ha! Hey, at least you're not sitting on the toilet. Oh yeah, 2:30 in the morning, War Sniper. Yeah, time to go to sleep. Joseph says, perfect bodies expire eventually. Yes, it is a depreciating asset. No matter how you look at it, that is the correct term, a depreciating asset. Which is kind of weird because if it isn't ass that is depreciating, I mean, that phrase is amazing. All right, guys, it seems like we're running short on comments here, and we've been going for over 2 hours, and my throat is actually sore, and I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning. So, on that, safety brief for everybody. You know, if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat his motherfucking ass. It's better than going to their funeral. Sorry, I'm reading. Oh yeah, they did give hints about Palpatine the whole time. Anyways, also, if your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. You know what they say: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The problem is there's not always a cure. At least not something that just won't run its course eventually. Anyways, be careful on the roads, everybody. It's getting to the point. I almost hit an entire flock of turkeys this morning. No joke. I almost hit them yesterday, and I almost hit them today. So just keep in mind, you got a lot of critters on the road. Some of them will cause damage to your car. It ain't freaking worth it. Everybody wants a free turkey dinner, but it ain't going to be free when it takes out your headlight. So anyways, aside from that, take care, everybody. I'm going to be leaving, and I'm just going to throw one more video. I don't know which one. I literally am looking at like 20 different videos right now. So, you know what? Let's finish this off with some ground combat. And that's going to be it for me. I'm just going to say, hey, guard. Yes, I did read the comments, and that's one of the reasons why Ahsoka and Rex are my favorite characters. Unfortunately, the live action Ahsoka is absolute motherfucking garbage. And if they decide to ruin the Rex character, I am going to want to hurt somebody. All right. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time on Syntax Live. This is your host, and I'm punching out.